First of all, listen, it's interesting about all these young guys today. They never call on us and say, hey, thanks for the kind word and telling me how great a player I am. But when they play like crap and we call them out, we don't know what we're talking about. Listen, I'm easy to find, but I get sick of these guys complaining. These young guys, they never call us and say, when a coach is wrong, I'm going to call him out. But when players are wrong, I'm going to call them out. But listen, I'm going to criticize guys if they deserve it. And listen, they can kiss my ass if they don't like it.
What's going on, y'all? Nathan back with another video presentation. Hope everyone's off to a great week so far. I don't know, I'm doing all right. Before we get into the video, there's a few things I need to say up front. This is episode 5, season 2 of Big Nick Talk Podcast. A couple things I need to say. I do apologize if the previous 2 episodes haven't been uploaded on Spotify and Anchor. Please be patient with me. I will have those episodes uploaded to you as soon as possible. So a couple things we're going to get into tonight. So with the Baltimore Orioles, we're going to recap that. NBA news, free agency was a hit tonight. A lot of if you've been following it, it's been crazy. Words cannot express. I'm just shocked. I'm going to follow up with Team USA basketball, and then just things around the NFL as far as training camp goes, different things, updates like that. But if you're enjoying the content you're seeing so far and you want to see more of this, be sure to hit that thumbs up. Leave your thoughts and comments and suggestions in the comments below. And also consider to hit the subscribe button. I appreciate the support that I have been getting on these podcasts, on this channel. So with that being said, we're going to get into it. So the Baltimore Orioles tonight, they played the Yankees after a good win last night, 7-1. Just for a record, there was an MVP last night, and it was not a baseball player; it was a cat. I could pull that video up, but I don't want to get copyrighted for that. But tonight we lost 13-1. So a couple notes I took away was that the Yankees were ready for us. Alex Wells took the loss. He actually got optioned down to, I want to say it was AAA Norfolk, and then we also. We'll see Thomas Elston, another pitcher. He will be sent to Norfolk. He cleared Sean, what's going on, bro? He cleared an assignment. He's of outweighted waivers, but man, yeah, they just kicked our ass tonight. I just think that, like I said, the Orioles have been playing well. Just tonight, the Yankees just had our number. Nothing really, honestly, spectacular. I mean, Alex Wells, my notes here, I'm looking at it, only lasted 2 innings in the third. Innings pitched, gave up 6 runs. Mullins he's on a 12-game hitting streak, and we fall to now 30 and 68. Brian Mancastle, I'm looking at my number. Look at the notes there I took. He's 10-17. Last 6, he's 12-25 with 3 doubles, 2 hits, and 5 RBIs. As far as it goes, I don't know what really else I could say about the Orioles. It's just another loss. At this point, like I said, this is August. We're just really preparing for next season. I don't really know what's going to be in store. I do know that you will see a different team come this past offseason. I don't see a lot of these cats staying. Trey Mancini was not going anywhere. I feel like he's definitely a rebuilding piece. He's a veteran piece to this team that Michael Ice is trying to build. Like I said, honestly, I turned the game off after it was the 5th inning. So nothing spectacular there. Again, this notion that the New York Yankees, regardless of the moves that they made, getting Joey Gallo and Anthony Rizzo, this notion that they're 57-49 or 6 games out of first place is a joke. And the fact that Tampa Bay and Boston, everybody raved about the Yankees going to World Series, but the Blue Jays are right behind them. They were 55, and they're 55-49. It's a joke. Like I said it before, and I'm going to say it again. I don't think that the Orioles would be the worst team in the league. They are kind of slowly getting that way. Right now, it's the Diamondbacks with 33 losses. Arizona got the 70 losses first before anyone did. Um, but I mean, we all know who's going to be lottery picks next year. The Diamondbacks are the number one overall pick. Then it'll be the Baltimore Orioles, and then it'll be the Rangers, Pirates, Twins, Royals, and then Rockies. I mean, that's we're just been praying for another top five pick. So it just it's another loss, but tomorrow we got him again, same time, 7:05. Um, Matt Harvey starting against Jamison Talon. Matt Harvey's coming in the game with a 6.10. He's 6-10 on the year. That's ERA of 6.2, and Talon 7-4 on the year with an ERA of 4.11. Um, Again, we're kind of down guys. Scott, he's out with a knee. Larkins is out with his elbow. He's on the 60-day disabled list. Hunter Harvey's out. Zimmerman's out. And then Wells is out. And I'm looking at the Yankees. The Yankees, they got a boatload of injuries. I was shocked. Aaron Hicks, Clint Frazier, Corey Kluber, Herman, O'Day, Cole. Garrett Cole tested positive for COVID-19, so thoughts and prayers there. Gio Urshela, he's out with a hamstring. Jordan Montgomery, COVID protocols. Luke Vogt out with a knee. Miguel Adelaire is out with a wrist injury. Michael King with finger. Tim LaCastos, he's actually out for the year. He tore his Achilles. And then Peralta is out COVID-19. So if you're the Yankees, like I said, you're really stretched thin. So, I mean, that's pretty much it about the Orioles. I mean, honestly and truthfully, like, we got 2 more months of baseball. And, there have been some bright spots, and there have been some just, most of the season's just been honestly hard to watch. I just really I see this team getting itself together another year or two, but I don't know. It's getting really to the point with I'm tired of just seeing, you put a product out there and this is the end result. But it's all good. So we're going to transition into basketball. Now, before I get into basketball, my goal, I'm hoping to have Nicholas Rosario from Let's Talk Football, maybe Sean Spencer as well. We'll have them as guests, particularly pertaining to baseball. I was supposed to have Nick Rosario on about the trade deadline and recap, but unfortunately couldn't make it. So I'm hoping to have him on before this month of September, because that's where you really see your pretenders and your contenders for sure. So I'm hoping to have both of them on for a potential future episode. So now, as far as basketball, free agency, ladies and gentlemen, was immaculate. I don't know where to really start. Let's start with the fact that Kyle Lowry, I touched on some on this yesterday. Kyle Lowry's going to Miami. So teams have the set salary cap for the 2021-2022 season at $112 million and a luxury tax threshold of $136 million. DeMar DeRozan signed a trade with the Chicago Bulls. I like it. They got Alex Caruso and then Nikolai Vukovic. I believe Lauri Markkanen is still a free agent. I like DeRozan there. The only thing I don't like is this. I'd like to see what they're going to do with Zach LaVine, because I know there's some. I read an article where they was talking about he really wants respect. I'm not sure where that's coming from. I'm not sure if that's the front office or if that's I don't know where that's coming from. But I like DeRozan signing here because, again, a veteran scorer. Unfortunately, the lack of a three-point shot, but he'll help. He will take some of the pressure off LaVine for sure. I like that move there. His move, and unfortunately, I don't think his money was going to go anywhere. I don't think he was going to get frozen out of the market. I think, unfortunately, he did what he could do in San Antonio, but I think he was looking for a different situation. I think this gives him a breath of fresh air. I like the move. and then in return, it's a 3-year deal with 85 million. The Spurs get a productive. They get Thaddeus Young, who I've been a fan of. I followed him since he was with the Philadelphia 76ers. Great ball player. He's very productive. You get a defender in Al-Farouq Aminu, a first-round pick and 2 second-round picks. So the Spurs, you got some veterans to work with. Carmelo Anthony. Well, we all know Melo's not one of the best shooters in the game. He's going to play alongside LeBron. I never thought I would see that. It's a 1-year deal, $2.6 million. I kind of see this. I don't see him really starting. I mean, he'll start here and there, but I mean, this is really a guy coming off the bench. Again, because Kyle Kuzma was traded, and Kyle Kuzma is a did not really have a great year last year. And I mean, honestly, let's just call it what it is. He was never going to go back to the Knicks. I think it just wasn't going to happen. I know he and Leon Rose know each other, but he did what he had to do. I mean, he had his moment in New York, so it is what it is, and I'm curious to see how it works for sure. Rudy Gay going to the Utah Jazz. He signed a 2-year deal, $12.1 million. I mean, he gives Utah. I mean, he's a veteran scorer. He can shoot and defend. I like Rudy Gay. I follow him since he was here in Baltimore, Emerson High School. One of my favorite ball players. I wish the Wizards would have picked him up. But I know people want to say, I understand we got Corey from Gonzaga, we got Rory, Denny, but I just like to see a veteran there. Derek Favors, obviously, no longer on Utah. He was traded to Oklahoma, for a salary dump, basically. And again, they're going to commit to re-signing Mike Conley, which means they'll have to go over the luxury tax, unfortunately, just like the Milwaukee Bucks with Drew Holiday. But that's okay. I think that's pretty much all the Jazz are going to do, because I don't think they really have much room to maneuver and spend money. So I like that move. And then also to Hassan Whiteside, we'll talk about that in a second. Hassan Whiteside also signed with the Utah Jazz. Steph Curry got to get a 4-year extension, $215 million. For sure, it's worth every penny of it. Steph Curry, listen, the last 7 years has given Golden State 3 championships. We cannot take that away. Now we can sit there and we can hate on the Golden State Warriors, with Kevin Durant, but you guys gotta understand this. That team without Kevin Durant were built through the draft. Steph, Clay, Draymond, all built through the draft. They won a championship without Kevin Durant. They won 72 games without Kevin Durant. And I just don't. Again, like casual fans, they bug me, and so unfortunately, it's annoying that Steph Curry gets the disrespect, and he shouldn't be disrespected. Honestly, I just worth every penny of it. And again, last year, he didn't have Klay Thompson. He didn't have Klay Thompson last year, the year before. So you're getting a healthy Klay Thompson back, and then you got Moses Moody, you get Draymond. The Warriors got something going on, so let's not sleep on that. But I definitely think this also helps with. Unfortunately, the Golden State Warriors will have to pay a hefty tax, but that's okay. So I like the move. Congratulations, Steph. Well deserved. Patty Mills to the Brooklyn Nets, 2-year deal, $12.1 million. I like this move for Brooklyn because, again, Patty Mills is a veteran. He's a shooter. He's a champion. I believe the Los Angeles Lakers had interest in him too, but I think this is good. I like it. Nothing wrong with there. And the Lakers, they brought back Taylor Horton Tucker, who's a good player. I like him. $32 million, 3 years. Kendrick Nunn. I don't know why he left Miami. That was kind of interesting. $10 million 2-year deal. I'm looking at Markieff Morris, who was a former Laker, he's now in Miami for 1 year, $2.6 million. Andre Drummond's going to Philadelphia for a year. His contract's worth $2.4 million, and then Malik Monk to the Lakers for $1.8 million for a year. I don't really understand that one, particularly about Kendrick Nunn. I feel like probably he just felt like he wasn't going to get the opportunity in Miami, so I don't really know what that was about. I don't get that. I don't get that one at all. PJ Tucker also signed with the Miami Heat. Again, like I told you, it was going to be tough to sign guys, especially when you're a championship team. It's hard to keep certain guys. Tony Snell, he signed with the Portland Trailblazers only for a year. I know the Wizards are interested in signing Spencer Dinwiddie. I believe it was like a 3-year deal. So I don't know what's up with that. I haven't heard much. That probably will be the only guy the Wizards will go after. We did lose Robin Lopez. I didn't really get that move at all. I feel like he doesn't really fit their system, but it's interesting. Hassan Whiteside is signed a 1-year deal with the Utah Jazz. I don't know. I feel like he hasn't really been the same player for the past couple years. I don't know what it is. Yeah, I think he kind of fell off. To me, he did. And, I mean, they got a guy, he's going to be playing behind Rudy Gobert for sure. The 76ers, they signed Georges Niang, Utah. Good forward. He can actually shoot the ball. It's not a bad pickup at all. A good little ball player. I think he'll fit. I mean, Mike Scott, nothing wrong with Mike Scott, but I think they're two different forwards. And then George Hill is going to return to the Milwaukee Bucks. I mean, other than he's a great defender and he's a great facilitator, I think this is just another veteran move. Let's see what else we got here. Taj Gibson, he's staying with the Knicks for 1 year, $2.7 million. Why are these guys taking so pay cuts? But Mitchell Robinson went down with his injury. Taj Gibson definitely stepped up. So this is definitely a good move. But I really don't really like the fact that some of these guys are taking. I mean, Taj Gibson is worth more than $2.7 million. Bruce Brown. Now, Bruce Brown, ladies and gentlemen, played really well in the Eastern Conference Finals with the Milwaukee Bucks. He did play coming off the bench and starting when Kyrie and Harden went down. He actually did a pretty good job. So he got the qualifying offer, 1 year, $4.7 million. James Johnson, a 1-year deal with the Brooklyn Nets. Rodney Hood. That's actually a good little pickup for the Milwaukee Bucks. I like that pickup. I think it gives one. I think they need another wing shooter. I like PJ Tucker, but he really didn't. He's not a shooter. So, and I think coming off the bench, I think the Milwaukee Bucks would really appreciate that. Sam Decker's coming back in the NBA. He's going to be with the Toronto Raptors. I like Sam Decker. I followed him since Wisconsin. Unfortunately, when he and Frank Kaminsky, they beat Maryland. That's okay. That's either here nor there. But he was a great shooter. I like him. I'm glad to see him back. It's glad to see him back in the NBA. Marc Gasol's coming back. Says he will confirm that he'll play out his 2-year contract with the Lakers after the Olympics lost to Team USA. Yes, which we'll talk about that in a little bit. Chris Paul got his staying in Phoenix. Let me say this about Chris Paul. As much as I have been a fan of CP3, I'm actually kind of happy about this move. Uh, the only thing is, we said the same thing about Giannis. Your own identity. I just don't really understand where this notion, this perspective Giannis comes from. Uh, you know, this notion that you need to have all the best players in the world to win a championship. It doesn't happen that way. It doesn't. And unfortunately, look at the Brooklyn Nets. Uh, history has shown super teams fail, and Chris Paul. People can say whatever they want to. They think Phoenix may not get there. I believe that I believe they can get back there again. Same thing like the Atlanta Hawks. Nobody thought about them going to the NBA Finals. Uh, and Chris Paul's proved to me that he's a bus driver, not a bus rider. And again, like I said, I said it not last year, the year before when they were in the bubble. Monty Williams and then getting Chris Paul, to see where they've grown these last two seasons, going to your third. I'm not sleeping on Phoenix. I'm just not. Trae Young got a $207 million extension on his rookie max contract worth every, excuse my language, fucking penny. He earned every penny of it. I don't care what anyone has to say. I've been a fan of Trae Young since come out of Oklahoma. Just the way he played this year, my God, no one had the Atlanta Hawks getting to the Eastern Conference Finals. Nobody. The only concerns that I have is John Collins. With him going forward, I don't know what they're going to do about that. Because you can't, again, with small market teams, it's hard to keep everybody. It really is. And I feel like they can get it done with Trae. I feel like they can get John Collins back on the Hawks. But I'm looking at the East, Boston, Washington, Brooklyn, Philadelphia, the Knicks, the Bulls. I'm not sleeping on that. So I'm not sleeping on that at all. 1 second, as I am putting something in the description for y'all to see. Okay. Sorry, I had to update something on that. Apologize. Let's continue. The Blake Griffin, he's staying with the Brooklyn Nets. Jeff Green's not there, but I like it. Blake Griffin actually played pretty well. Nothing wrong with that. Let's see what else is going on here in the NBA and free agency. Jimmy Butler got a 4-year deal for $184 million extension. I don't know. I actually like that. I actually like that move. Jimmy Butler was worth every penny. He's the face of that. He's the face of that franchise now. Especially his first NBA Finals appearance in the bubble. Like that can't go unnoticed. I didn't want to clear this up. PJ Tucker agreed to a 2-year deal with $15 million with the Miami Heat. Derrick Rose, $43 million, 3-year deal. Why is anyone taking 3-year deals? I don't see a lot of 5 or 6-year deals. Interesting. Norman Powell, he's staying with the Portland Blazers. Portland Trailblazers, excuse me. I like it. I just don't really get with the Blazers. this is another one. If you're trying to please your star and Damian Lillard, wouldn't you be a little bit more aggressive in trying to get pieces? Not saying no one pounds on a piece, but when you try to do more, if that y'all know, yeah, if that makes sense. The Knicks, they signed Evan Fournier. Evan Fournier was looking in the range of $80 million, and I said he's about 70s, 75. Uh, I mean, the Knicks need shooters, and Evan Fournier can shoot. So I like the move. I like the move for sure. Kent Bazemore's returning to the Lakers on a 1-year deal. Mike Conley, his contract with the Utah Jazz is a 3-year deal, $72.5 million. Alex Caruso, 4-year deal, $37 million. I don't know. I like it. Because that team is now this Bulls team, y'all, is different. It's different. Dwight Howard's going back to Los Angeles. And then we Wayne Ellington and Trevor Ariza. Oh my God. Jared Allen, a 5-year deal. Okay, thank you. 5-year deal, $100 million. I felt like already showed his worth to me when he was in Brooklyn. I don't think this is overpaying. I really think this, honestly, I think this may show that Kevin Love's on his way out the door. Duncan Robinson staying in Miami, 5-year deal, $90 million. Again, Duncan Robinson can shoot the ball. So I know Tyler Hero's next for his contract, looking for his payday. Tim Hardaway Jr., he's staying in Dallas, 4-year deal, $72 million. I like that move. I mean, 18 years is not bad value. It's just not. I mean, it's a little expensive, but he did play well. He did play well last year, ladies and gentlemen. So let's not sleep on that. Nicholas Batum staying in Los Angeles. That's another team I'm disappointed in. Wasn't really aggressive and trying to make a move. You know, I feel like the Clippers could have used a big three. I believe DeMar DeRozan could have been a good pick. Russell Westbrook could have been a good pick. But it didn't happen. So I'd say the Los Angeles Clippers are losers on this free agency. What else is going on here? Nerlens Noel staying in New York for 3 years, $32 million. I mean, he deserved every penny of it for sure. Cameron Payne, the Suns kept him, 3-year deal with $19 million. Worth he deserved. I will say this. It's a steal if you're the Phoenix Suns. But if you're looking at the market of Cameron Payne, you got robbed. I would have liked to have seen I would like to know what his value was outside of Phoenix. Bobby Portis is staying in Milwaukee, 2-year deal, $9 million. Wayne Ellington, he's going to Los Angeles. Gary Trent is going to the Raptors, $54 million deal for 3 years. Jeff Green's going to Denver on a 10 $10 million deal for 2 years. TJ McConnell staying in Indiana, 4-year deal with $35 million. Kelly Olynyk is staying in Detroit. I mean, he signs with Detroit, 3-year deal, $37 million. JaVale McGee, he's going to Phoenix for a year. Dwayne Dedman's going to Miami for a year. Will Barton is staying in Denver, $32 million, 2-year. I'm seeing a lot of signings here, and they're all great pickups. But I think the biggest one was obviously, I think, Lonzo Ball going to Chicago. And like I said, I think Lonzo's got Zach LaVine's got the pieces he needs. So, but the biggest one I'd say, I mean, obviously the Los Angeles Lakers, they they won for sure. Um, I'm looking at their roster, right, and I think they're probably most likely. I'm looking at they're the oldest team. And then you signed the White, Mello. I don't like that, but we'll say this: I like Mac McClung. I think he definitely I think he's replacing Caruso. So, but Ariza 36, Melo 37, Gasol 36, LeBron 36, the White 36. Like, but I'm not sleeping on this roster. Westbrook, Melo, Kendrick Nunn, Ariza, Ellington, Malik Monk, Bazemore, Taylor Horton Tucker, the White. Like, they definitely won. Congratulations to the Los Angeles Lakers. They're your 22, 2023 NBA champions. The NBA is rigged, ladies and gentlemen. So that's why I think also that's why I believe also won the Lakers. I think the Portland Trailblazers kind of took a L as well because they didn't really give Damian Lillard the help that I think he needs to compete for a championship. Um, the Los Angeles Clippers is another one. I would like to see them get like a big three. That didn't happen. I know Russell Westbrook was talking about he was open to staying with the Wizards, but I mean it was all foreshadowed. Like the Wizards got it. Like I said, I think as serviceable as Russell Westbrook was, it just long term it just wasn't going to work. It just wasn't going to work out. Um, Brooklyn Nets. I mean, you really can't do anything uh, as far as really getting spending top earned money. You just can't. But when you have to pay Kevin Durant, Kyrie, and James Harden, that's tough. That's not easy. Um, but for sure, the Miami Heat, I would say, is another winner. Like I said, when you get Kyle Lowry, then you sign PJ Tucker, Duncan Robinson, you got Bam, Jimmy Butler, and then Tyler Hero coming off the bench. I really think the Miami Heat, they're going all in. I mean, last year was disappointing. Let's just call it what it is. You know, from being in the finals to getting swept in the first round by the Milwaukee Bucks. Um, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say the New York Knicks are a question mark for me. I mean, even though they re-signed Derrick Rose, Alex Burke, Nolan Noel, and then you signed Evan Fournier, but you lost Reggie Bullock, went to the Mavs. I'm not really like let's call it what it is. Like Chris Paul was not going to go to New York. DeMar DeRozan, that's iffy. And then Kawhi Leonard was never going to leave Los Angeles, ladies and gentlemen. He was not. Um, I do think the biggest thing for me is Julius Randle is the key. Julius Randle takes this team as far as he can take it, and I think if he fails to show what he showed this year, then it's all for nothing. But I definitely think Evan Fournier will help with the Knicks. I believe they ranked 22nd. If I'm saying that stat right. And again, with his playmaking and his shooting ability, he's definitely going to help for sure with the Knicks. Again, like I said, Chris Paul, I'm not mad at it. Again, like at first I was kind of confused. He declined his player option. He was supposed to make $44 million. So and then turned around and got $120 million. So nothing wrong with that. But I want to keep in mind now, according to Spot Track, if I saw that right, make sure I saw this right. Hold on. So it's 120 million for 4 years. That's $30 million a year. Now the only thing is that not all of it's guaranteed. That's interesting. His base salary is going to be so for next year, excuse me, he'll earn 28.9 million, and his cap hit will be 28.9 million. That's interesting. So, now I will say this about the Lakers. Now let's just call it what it is. They're most likely to be in the NBA Finals. The biggest thing was that took a hit was their defense. Now, if you look at their success, now I'll have it here. Hold on, before I say it wrong. They are ranked 106.8 per 100 possessions in last season. Now, you traded away Kyle Kuzma and KCP, two versatile wing players, ladies and gentlemen, for Russell Westbrook. Then, obviously, Caruso is going to Chicago. We can all make an argument he was probably their best guard as a defensive guard. We can make that argument. And then, from what I understood, like the Lakers didn't even make a counter offer. Now, you added Trevor Ariza, Wayne Ellington, Kent Bazemore, Melo, and then Kendrick Nunn and Malik Monk. They're not defenders. They're pretty much shooters. Now, the only thing is Dwight Howard is a great defender, but as a perimeter defender, he really struggles to switch on pick and rolls. It's documented. Just take a look at it. The Pelicans, I'm iffy about it. I don't really know like where that's going to go. I like Devontae Graham, but I don't know. I really feel like they could have done more. Is they landed, according to ESPN here, they landed Devontae Graham in a sign and trade with the Charlotte Hornets. The deal's worth for over 47 million over 4 years. New Orleans is sending Charlotte's 2022 lottery protected first round pick. So, I mean, unfortunately, he was the odd man out anyway because you had between obviously LiAngelo and then Terry Rozier. They're going to get majority of the minutes. So, but Thomas and Aransky, and I like Garrett Temple, veterans, but I don't know. I think between you have William Zion and then Brandon Ingram. That was kind of like a little big three. I would kind of see, would like to know where that would have went. Now the Pelicans could have offered him more money for sure, but I don't know what fell. I don't know what fell there. I don't. Now, according to Sharns, Kent Bazemore turned down more money in years. It was a 2-year deal from the Warriors, but believes he will have a bigger role and opportunity to win a championship. This is on Sharns' Twitter. I'll leave that in the description for y'all to see. Actually, put it here so y'all can see that. I put it in the description. Um, whoa. There's a couple others that were out there. Let's see. Otto Porter is a Golden State Warrior. I just okay, interesting. No, so this was according to NBA Hoop Central on Twitter. Oops. So John Collins, Laurie Markkinen, Reggie Jackson, Avery Bradley, Dennis Schroeder, Paul Millsap, Josh Hart, Lou Williams, Danny Green, Kelly Oubre. We can take us on Whiteside off that list. Victor Oladipo, Andre Iguodala, JJ Redick, Frank Kaminsky. We could take Ish Smith off that list. Those are the free agents that are remaining. John Collins, I believe, will stay with the Atlanta Hawks, like I stated earlier, ladies and gentlemen. Reggie Jackson, I don't care what anyone has to say. The way he played this postseason, he's worth every penny of it. I would like to see the Wizards make a move on getting at least another guard, another Ish Smith's gone. I'm looking at Amy Bradley could be a nice little pickup. Lou Williams could be a good little pickup. Victor Oladipo, Iguodala, JJ Redick. Uh, I do think the Wizards could use some more length. I'm not sure if I doubt it, but this is just wishful thinking. Laurie Marketing could be a good pick, little pickup, but I don't know. We'll see. Um, I know the Timberwolves when last I read interested in him, but he would be a good little. He could actually be a good pickup. Paul Millsap would be great coming off the bench, veteran presence inside. I like Montrezl Harrell. It doesn't hurt to beef up the interior, but I know we're going to get Thomas Bryant back. Danny Green could be a good little pickup. Kelly Oubre can make a return back to the nation's capital. Um, One that does stand out is Dennis Schroeder. Let me just say this, ladies and gentlemen: when you play poorly, and when you uh, don't live up to expectations, your money will get affected. And Dennis Schroeder is not worth $100 million. He's just not. And I easily think he's worth between 70, 80 easily. Um, I just don't really understand where this idea of he was worth $100 million came from. I don't. And then I'm looking at it here. This is on the Los Angeles Lakers Sports Bound Nations article. Quote, the easiest thing would be re-signing Dennis Schroeder, but Dennis Schroeder wants crazy money. Schroeder thinks he's a $100 million player, and he's already turned down an extension in the 80 millions. And the vibe from the Lakers is really, I think they'd rather move on from him. I don't see Schroeder as a starter. I think they like him as a six man, but they want something more out of their main backcourt guy. And then he spent 2 weeks in health and safety protocols and then shot 40% in the playoffs from the field and then 30% from three. And just disappointing. And I think the Lakers had made the right choice moving on from him. Like I said, I don't think he's worth $100 million, but I kind of see it probably, if you had to push S, I would probably say Spurs, but they got DeJounte Murray. Um, I don't really see a fit for him. Philadelphia, maybe. Boston. I don't really see a fit for him. I really don't, honestly. No. And then also Gilgamesh, Shea Alexander. I know I was gonna just name drop that. Shea Alexander got a 5-year deal. It was $162 million. Good little ball player. I thought I would like to see him. I thought I would like this. I thought I was still going to trade him, but he's another potential piece to build around. So hey, Trey Young and Shea, I like it. I like it. But that's the NBA off. That's the free agency so far. I mean, we're going to now. What, this is be day 3, and so far so good. I'm like I said, I'm shocked by some of these moves, and I like it. Y'all let me know who y'all think who you think the best signing is, and what do you think this means for each team. I do plan to do an NBA season preview before the season starts, so be on the lookout for that. But enough about free agency talk. Let's talk about Team USA basketball. I'm going to start with the men's. They played really well today. They beat Spain, 95-81. Uh, Ricky Rubio, ladies and gentlemen, can play. Um, I mean, I followed him since he was with the Timberwolves. I've always liked Ricky Rubio, but he led the team in scoring. He dropped 38 points. Oh my God. Um, Willie Hurt, Will Hernan Gomez had a double double. Sergio Rodriguez had 16. I'm telling you, I cannot stress this enough. Kevin Durant, Jason Tatum, Holiday, Lillard, Levine. Like, if all they do is stay consistent and they feed off of each other.
How do you do that? How do you do that? What the hell is going on?
It's all about energy. It's all about energy and patience. This notion that we needed Steph Curry, LeBron, and Melo, and not just let's take it at just one game at a time, and it will come. You see the results. Like, I believe that makes them 8. No, excuse me. Look here. Look at the note. I'm looking at the notes. I wrote it down here somewhere. Okay, I did not write it, but I know that they're going to Australia and they're 8-0, and they're going to face Argentina, who's 8-0, or 7-1 versus Argentina. So Australia 8-0, Argentina's 7-1. Thursday, that's who's going to play. That's going to be a good game. I should watch that. But I mean, like, Drew Holiday had 12 points, Lillard had 11, Zach had 10, Kevin Durant had 13. Like, they're feeding off of each other. And then I think the biggest to me, the biggest run was in the first half, second quarter. It was like under 4 minutes. And they went on. Well, that was Spain. The United States missed 10 straight shots. And no, it's not 10. 7 straight missed shots. And Spain went on a 10-0 run. And they were up by 10. I think the score was 39-29. But the Durant and the others stepped up in the second half. They closed the half. The game was tied. It was tied at 43. I believe it was a 14-4 run. But that first half, they were terrible. I have it, my notes. They were 4-17 from 3. That was horrendous. And again, like I said, there was another. I had it in the second half. It was a 22-6 run. The game there was 65-49 at that point, and then from there, the game was over. So again, these boys, I believe they're going to win gold. Personally, and when it does, let can we have an apology for Greg Popovich, please, and all these other guys that were disrespected and not really giving them say, well, you know what, they won without LeBron, Kawhi, Steph, Russ, Melo. This Olympic team actually did pretty well without those guys. And you know what? Greg Popovich proved in his first year as coaching Team USA basketball, he didn't do that bad. He didn't do that bad at all. But like I said, also too, like it's funny, like we like let's just give some of these countries credit. You know, we lost to Nigeria, and then we lost to Australia. Again, basketball has become global. The NBA has become a global sport. Like, unfortunately, again, like I think we've just become comfortable with this expectation. Oh, the United States every year is going to go on gold. I mean, just look at the women's national soccer team. They lost to Canada in extra time to Canada 1-0. Instead of, well, you know what? Canada played a really great game, and they have to get credit. Now, I mean, I forgot who got injured. Let me look. Alyssa Naher, she got hurt, and unfortunately, we lost on a penalty kick. So we just got to give some of these countries credit. Like, you know what, they went out there and played a really good game, just like, you know, like Spain. Like I'm not sleeping on that. Like Ricky Rubio dropped 38 points on us, and I can't say anything bad about that. I can't. So I'm gonna talk about the women. They beat France. Now that's our 52nd straight win in the Olympics. We go up against Australia, Leilani Mitchell, and the Aussies. That should actually be a good little. That should actually be a great game. There is something that I kind of wanted to. I was reading about Dawn Stanley. Where is it? Hold on, wait a minute. Okay, so I was reading this article. Here it is from the Undefeated about the pressures of Tokyo Games. I've had feelings I've never had before as a head coach. During this experience, I'll leave this article in the description for y'all. I've had feelings I never had before as a head coach. This is a feeling. It's a lot different than I've ever experienced. I'm nervous. There was one part of the article where she talked about it. Let me find that part. I'm looking at it right now. Okay, so quote, you don't want to overcoach and you don't want to get in the way of these players, what these players are doing, feeling, or thinking. So being the head coach, it takes on a different challenge. Let me read that again. You don't want to overcoach and you don't want to get in the way of what these players are doing, feeling, or thinking. So being in the head coach, it takes on a different challenge. I'm a little confused by that comment, that statement actually. Excuse me, because when she's saying you don't want to, I mean, let me put it to you like this. I understand what she's saying. You have WNBA players that are on the professional level. Like, there's this expectation that they need to understand their role. Like, I'm not gonna lie, there was a couple times in this France game when they played France where she got up a few times, but it's all about instilling confidence in your players. Like, again, let me just point this out to you. France got off to a really, really hot start. They did. At the first, they took, I believe, I can't remember, I don't have the, let me do it this way. Tina Charles, Asia Wilson, Breonna Stewart, all played a big role in today's in this win. They did. Now, Gabby Williams, who former Chicago Sky, Los Angeles Sparks, was on that French team. France in the fourth quarter took a 72-71 lead. But then, unfortunately, the game was over. You know, let's just call it what it is, when the United States answered with 12 straight points. And the score was 83-74. Like, Inde Miri had 15 points. She led the team in scoring, France. But France was up 22-19 in the first quarter. And ladies and gentlemen, that was the third game in a row consecutively where we were down. Like, I think that there's this, I don't really, and with her comments, I mean, let's be careful here with this. The stakes are higher when it comes to pros because there is this expectation when you're a star or when you're a great player, you get all the praise and all the glory. When you're asking collegiate ball players, not saying they're not capable of doing this, of going over to the Olympics, and you're putting this pressure on them to perform at a higher level. That's unrealistic. Like, I don't understand what this notion is. Well, if you just take a group of collegiate ball players and then maybe put a few pros, see what you're working with. Shouldn't you put the best talent on the court to display to the basketball, football, baseball world? Shouldn't we not be doing that? And again, if Dawn was coaching a college team like South Carolina, she would be more, she would have to be more of a coach than she is with this team. Coach Gino, when he was coaching a few years ago, when he had Angel McCautry, Maya Moore, Diana Taurasi, he had all those girls on that team. I just call it what it is. He was sitting back like this. And they know what they're doing. When you see great coaches sitting back like this, they're not worried. Because it's not just about X's and O's. It's about the effort. It's about team play. And again, coaching doesn't matter. It does matter, but also too, players also as well. There's a high expectation for them to perform on the highest level, like the Olympics, to see why you're the best in the world. I just think her style of play, she's not enforcing it on these girls, but she's kind of. But I don't feel like they're opposed to it. Do you know? Does that make sense? Like, I just feel like if you had collegiate level players there versus WNBA All Stars, it's totally different. Because to me, when you have the best talent on the field, the best talent, and you're producing it, that matters. Because if you're okay, like, I just don't really understand what, like, again, like the 1992 Olympic team, like, it wasn't just about that was the best team. It was putting the best group of ball players on the field, on the court, excuse me. I mean, there are numerous examples. We use the 1972 Olympic basketball team. I believe they lost to Russia. The final score is 51-50. Doug Collins was Tommy Burleson, Dwight Jones, Bobby Jones, Kevin Joyce, Ed Ratliff, like Mike Bannon, Jim Brewer. We got silver. I mean, we were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We were 8-1. We were second place. But a lot of people don't. But see, people don't really have. It's funny. People don't really understand this. But if you remember, the Soviet Union, that team, the Soviet Union, they had veterans who were playing throughout each league in Russia and other tournaments. The United States they were not allowed to send the best players in the NBA. They were barred from doing that. People forget that. So unfortunately, they had to use college ball players. Do your research. You're not going to take my word for it. Do your research. Because Kevin, these are all college students. Tommy Burleson, who was at North Carolina State University, really was our only big man. Well, James Forbes, Mike Bannon, Jim Brewer, Bobby Jones, Dwight, like they played well, but can we make the same argument on that Olympic team where, we couldn't use collegiate ball players. We had to use collegiate ball players and no pros. And here it was, we're going to be against grown men. Is that fair? So you can make the same argument back and forth. Now the next Olympics, we won gold. We had Quentin Buckner, Kenny Carr, Adrian Dantley, Phil Ford, Ernie Grunfeld, Mitch Kupchak. Then you're starting to see some future NBA stars like Jeff Turner, Wayman Tisdale, Evan Robinson, Sam Perkins, Chris Mullin, Joe Klein, Michael Jordan, Patrick Ewing. and then Leon Wood. You know, like this was. You got to remember, up until 1988, we were not allowed to use. We couldn't. NBA players were not allowed to participate. That's what people don't get. But then when FIBA 1989 they introduced that rule change, then that's when the Dream Team came into play, people. So, like, for people to go, well, it's not fair that we got to have all the great ball players like Kevin Durant and LeBron James and Steph Curry in the Olympics when they couldn't even do that before. They couldn't do that before. Other countries use their best players. And at the time, we said when we lost to the Soviet Union, and that was bronze. That was the worst. I believe that was the 1988 Olympics. Yes, and the great John Thompson, rest in peace, was the head coach of that team. Stacey Ogman, Hurst Hawkins, Dan Marley, Danny Manning, Mitch Richmond, David Robinson. Like, let's like, it's not that we've failed to catch up. We were barred from up until 1992. We couldn't use the best players in the NBA. The best year without NBA players was the great Bob Knight, but he had college ball players. He had Steve Alford, Patrick Ewing, Vern Fleming, Michael Jordan. But also, too, I did want to point out that was the same year that that was the boycott of the Olympics, where Soviet Union and other countries did not want to predict. We withdrew. So, but I get Dawn's comments on what she's saying. But at the end of the day, like, they played a really good game against France, and unfortunately, you know, we're taking away their moment of winning a gold medal because, well, it's too competitive for other teams. That's not fair. But here it was before. Let me look. Wait a minute. Let's go back. Let's use 1992. Okay. Teresa Edwards, Tammy Jackson, Clarissa Davis, Teresa Witherspoon, Katrina McClain, Cynthia Cooper. I look at the Olympics as like I look at it like this. It's putting your best players and your best players and display it on the basketball world. You want to sprinkle a couple collegiate ball players in there, that's fine. We did it with the 1992 team with Christian Laettner. Because people could have said, well, how come Isaiah Thomas didn't get there? And I told y'all about that with Isaiah Thomas. Shaq could have been another one. Anthony Davis was the 2012 team. Come on, people. So I'm not going to take away her shine, and I get what she's trying to say. It's a lot of pressure because unfortunately, it's her first Olympics coaching, and then there's this pressure. And now, I do want to say this: happy belated birthday, Skylar Diggins. Leo. She did play after it was reported she got banged up in practice, but she only had 3 points. That's okay. Now, we came into this game. I told y'all they had to cut down the turnovers. They're averaging a worse 21 quarterback. Those 21 turnovers a game, and we committed 12. Now, again, like I said, the usage of Asia Wilson, Brittany Griner, Sylvia Follows, and Tina Charles, that's big. Now, I don't know about Dan Taurasi. I saw that she held her wrist, her right wrist. I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe she bruised it or got hit, but she didn't come back in the second quarter. But it wasn't, to me, nothing that I should be, nothing that I was like, okay. And we're going to be against Australia. And we're going to go out there. We're going to win this game. We're going to bring the gold home. And it doesn't matter if they haven't been tested. You know, these are the best women in the game. These are the best WNBA players in the game. And I just think that we need to just give them the credit. We just need to give them the credit.
First of all, listen, it's interesting about all these young guys today. They never call on us and say, hey, thanks for the kind word and tell me how great a player I am. But when they play like crap and we call them out, we don't know what we're talking about. Listen, I'm easy to find, but I get sick of these guys complaining. These young guys, they never call us and say, when a coach is wrong, I'm going to call him out. But when players are wrong, I'm going to call them out. But listen, I'm going to criticize guys that they deserve it. And listen, they can kiss my ass if they don't like it.
So, anywho, congratulations to the women. Well-deserved win. Well, like I said, that was kind of that was kind of a scare. They got to cut down the turnovers, and we'll take it from there. But I mean, we're going to transition into the NFL news, and we're going to wrap it up because I've talked y'all's ear off for an hour and 13 minutes. Let's see what's happening around the NFL. BW Webb signed with the 49ers. I like that pickup. They just need they need some veteran depth that they've been looking for. Okay. According to Ian Rappaport, Jeff Gladney has released a statement about his release and legal issues. This is from his agent. It's a good thing that innocent until proven guilty still exists in this country. Unfortunately, the Vikings didn't view it the same way. Today, Jeff was indicted, which is a normal step in the judicial process, which means his case is going to trial and nothing more. It does not speak to his guilt or innocence. We have received information that the complaining witness in this case came forward and requested that the case not be prosecuted. The Vikings did what's best for their organization, which we respect. We strongly believe in Jeff Gladney's innocence, and we look forward to his day in court so he can clear his name. Out of this, at this time, respect of the legal process of all parties involved, Jeff and his representatives will have no further comments. Jeff Gladney was released from the Minnesota Vikings as he's indicted on a felony charge for domestic violence. And this was their first round pick. He was drafted by the Minnesota Vikings. He was arrested in April after he allegedly assaulted his now ex-girlfriend. According to the reports, it says he was arrested after repeatedly punching, slapping, choking, and dragging her. Reportedly was upset that the woman was texting and wanted to see her phone. She gladly reportedly threw the phone out the window, but then returned and tried to shove the woman's face in front of her phone to get it unlocked. He then allegedly started punching and slapping the woman. The two arrived at an apartment complex where Gladney reportedly choked the woman. He's also accused of dragging the woman on the ground while the vehicle they were in was moving. While the incident occurred in April, a grand jury did not hear Gladney's case until July 29th. The week before the grand jury, Gladney's ex-girlfriend sued allegedly Gladney tried to bribe and intimidate her not to cooperate as a witness. The lawsuit claims that Gladney physically assaulted his ex-girlfriend, held her for hours against her will, and threatened her to be silent. Gladney also reportedly forced the woman to delete old message threads. This incident is alleged to have taken place July 25th, days before he was indicted. Wow. So this was today, as of yesterday. Following our review of today's indictment against Jeff Gladney, we have decided to release Jeff immediately. As we have previously said, we take these matters very seriously and condemn all forms of domestic violence. Due to the ongoing legal nature of this matter, we are unable to provide further comment. Well, like I said, you are innocent proven to guilty, but we don't. Domestic violence is nothing to take serious about. Regardless, man or woman, you should never put your hands on your partner. I don't care who. I don't. To me, it's as it said, turn the other cheek. If you're not, if there's just no excuse for it, and there's just no place for it. If we don't really have all the facts, we don't really know everything. What we do know is that he's indicted, and he'll get his say in court. But what his agent is saying, that we received information from the complaining witness that they requested the case not to be prosecuted. We don't know if that's true, but that's I don't like that if you're asking for it to be prosecuted, because I just feel like you're giving that person the power to control you and to your base. I just think we just got to hold people accountable. We don't have all the facts of what really happened if he did, the situation. But like I said, this maybe is a good time for him to take a step back and get himself together, because he was a first round pick. He was drafted out of TCU. He was a 31st overall pick. I think he played really well. He competed against Mike Hughes and Holt Hill and then Cameron Dantzler, and he finished the year on 81 tackles and had 3 pass deflections and 1 forced fumble. But all I want to know, my question to Jeff is why? Because this actually may have hurt you, you landing on an NFL team. But we will continue to follow this as we find out more progressing details. Phillip Rivers says he could return to the NFL. Says he's focused on coaching, but isn't closing the door on a comeback. According to Sam Farmer from the Los Angeles Times, said he spent the first half of the day with Phillip Rivers, who assures me that he is focused on coaching high school football now, but he's not closing the door on a comeback for a stint late this season if an NFL team needs him. Now, I do think the Indianapolis Colts need him, but I told y'all I think they need to make a move for Marcus Mariota or Mitchell Trubisky. I think those are good moves that they can make, because Carson Wentz is going to be out for now 5 to 12 weeks after he was going to put off surgery, but the surgery is now needed. So I think those are 2 quarterbacks that the Indianapolis Colts should go after. I like Phillip Rivers, but I don't see that working. Now, something did happen with the New York Giants. I was looking for a video, but I didn't see it. But there was a brawl, according to multiple reports. Daniel Jones somehow ended at the bottom of the pile. Judge Joe is absolutely livid. He got all the players to line up and now to run. Wow. He had his team run 2 minutes of sprints, then line up and do push-ups in unison on the whistle, then do more sprints, more push-ups on the goal line. I like it. After doing 100 run yards, not hard enough for Judge Joe's liking. Ooh, okay, Judge. My bad. Okay. He's not taking this BS. I like it. I like it, Coach. I like it. But I mean, listen. Again, it's all part of the game. You know, you're gonna have your moments where it's gonna get tense, especially on football. I mean, your helmet pads and in some places it's hot. It's hot. Yeah, I mean, most tensions are going to boil over. It's all part of the game. Quentin Nelson's going to be out. Same similar injury to Carson Wentz will be out 5 to 12 weeks. Um, let's see what else is going on. Yes, JT Ivy got immediately cut. Let me show y'all this video. He got immediately cut by the Carolina Panthers after he hit Keith Kirkwood. Wow, they're not playing at all with this. Let me show y'all. This was a nasty hit. I mean, like, damn. We see some of those in football, but right here. Actually, let me mute that before I get copyrighted. Yeah, I'm right there. Did y'all see that? Let's go back. Now, he unfortunately Kirkwood had to be carried. He had to be taken out on a stretcher. JT was kicked out of practice, and according to reports, he was moving his arms and legs. It was a cheap hit. It was a cheap shot. I don't really understand why guys are doing that. I didn't see. I mean, to me, I didn't see anything malice about it. But unfortunately, we are trying to cut down on these type of things like that, ladies and gentlemen. So, um, yeah, I hope Keith's all right. And again, like, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say it's getting soft, but we want to be mindful that we don't want to really seriously hurt these guys. So this was a video of Daniel Jones after the brawl. So let's hear what he got to say.
For one, the energy, the excitement, the willingness to compete, the wanting to compete is all positive. I think regardless of who it is, people who are excited to be there, who want to play football, who want to compete. Right now, the opponent's the defense, their opponent's us. So we're competing against each other. But like I said, we got to do a better job handling it. There's consequences for that kind of stuff, and that's the way it is in the game. If you lose, you're cool. There's consequences, and that hurts the team. So that was the message, and I think everyone understands that.
Have you ever seen him that angry before?
Yeah, he's a pretty, he can get excited, and I think, guys respond to it, and I think they certainly got the message today.
I think, Daniel, some people say, starting quarterback, kind of stay out of that. What made you want to run in and participate?
I'm part of the team, and I don't, part of the team, part of the offense, and we're competing, so I don't see myself separated from that.
Oh, well, like you said, Joe Judge is not playing. Again, like I said, guys out there, trying to make the team, and it's going to get hot. But we got to understand that this is a team, they're a family, and we just we can't get carried away. So I mean, it's going to happen. It's part of the game. So I wanted to show y'all real quick a Jameis Winston interview. He talked about how he sees himself as number one quarterback. See if I can find that real quick. Let me do this. Okay, well, let me do this because I was on Bleachers Report when I saw this article. It's a great thing for any position. And being able to experience Sean's and Drew's relationship gave me a good grasp of the system. Obviously, reps is what's important. This year, I probably got more reps in 3 days than I got all last year. So it's an incredible feeling to be able to have an opportunity to go out there and execute. Because I'm more of a visual learner. I like to apply what we're doing, apply to certain concepts, and I'll learn better that way. So it's been fun, and I think I'm getting a good grasp of it. But obviously, my objective is to get better every single day. And I know with a great head coach, his resume speaks for itself. And we got great guys in that quarterback room, and we're helping each other, and we're building. Listen, y'all, I guarantee he's gonna have a Pro Bowl year. Jameis Winston, man, I'm telling you, I think he's gonna be the number one starter for sure over Taysom Hill. I do. I'm just I'm not writing Jameis Winston off. I think he had a good year when he was in Tampa Bay. The year that they just basically gave up on him. He threw for 5,000 yards. Either he threw 30 picks. I'm not ignoring the fact that he threw 33 touchdowns. I'm not ignoring the fact he threw over 5,000 yards. I'm not ignoring that. The last guy we saw that was Brett Favre, but we give Brett Favre the nickname. He's a gunslinger, but I be on the lookout for him. Guarantee Pro Bowl year, Jameis Winston. Let's go, baby. Let's see what else is going on in the NFL news. The Bills could move to Austin. I'm assuming it's Austin, Texas. Yes. Okay, this is an article on Bleacher Report. The Bills reportedly see Austin, Texas, as a possible destination if they relocate over stadium negotiations, according to Seth Wickersham of ESPN. Tom Precious of the Buffalo News reported that the Bills are seeking $1 billion in publicly funded money to cover the costs of a new stadium in Orchard Park, New York, just outside Buffalo. Though Pinnacle Sports and Entertainment Ownership Group has not made any official relocation threats, Precious noted that it has made it clear to government negotiators that there are other cities elsewhere that desire an NFL franchise and would pay handsomely for it. The team's current venue, Highmark Stadium, which has been their home since 1973, the lease expires next year. They are seeking a resolution before that time frame. The asking price can still be high for the state of New York and area county officials. With Precious reporting, the team wants 100% of public funds to pay for the stadium, and some stadiums are funded with no public money, while others have as much as 70%. Co-owner Kim Pegula previously explained the inability to pay for a new stadium. Quote, "I don't even know if we can get there," Pegula told Vic Carucci of Buffalo News in 2018. "I know fans in Buffalo don't want higher ticket prices. They don't want higher personal seat license, and the state doesn't want to give you any money. The city doesn't want to. We don't have a $500 million sitting around. We use it to buy the team." That Terry and Kim Pegula purchased the team for $1.4 billion. A lack of a new stadium could create an opportunity for relocation, which has become increasingly common in the NFL. The St. Louis Rams and San Diego Chargers both have moved to Los Angeles and the Oakland Raiders to Las Vegas within all the past 5 years. A move to Austin would give the 10th largest city in the United States the first NFL team and the only franchise with 4 major sports. You have them in Major League Soccer with Austin FC, which is in the midst of its first year, which are actually doing. They're not playing that. They're actually playing pretty well. And then the Bills have experience in playing in Toronto, Canada, with 6 of their regular season games taking place in the Rogers Center from 2008 to 2013. I'm pretty sure they'll work something out for sure. I would hate to see them really move again. I just think that what the Buffalo Bills have done these last few years, I would if I was a fan, I'd hate to see them move. But it's got to be a two-way street. I think to say 100% of it has to be from public funds, like the people have to pay for it. I think that can go both ways, personally. And, I mean, honestly, truthfully, if that does happen, that could hurt. But I think also too, don't they own the Buffalo Sabres as well? So, I don't know about that one, and I don't know about that one. But also too, I did want to point this out. I took a couple things away from the Baltimore Ravens training camp and trying to follow as best I can from the interviews. I understand Calais Campbell had a great day. J.K. Dobbins, I think will be a Pro Bowler, breakout player. Definitely watch out for that. From what I understand, Odafe Onwa is looking really good. Again, this is a prospect basically drafted on potential. And then the offensive line did not really have a great day. And then Deion Kane, don't sleep on him. Deion Kane, I think was a great pickup for the Baltimore Ravens. He's a vertical threat, and I think great. He can. I think he can fit Baltimore's system. So do not sleep on Deion Kane. James Poche, do not sleep on him neither. Duvernay, just don't sleep on him. Now Larry Hogan also kind of called on Lamar to get the vaccine. We don't know if he's vaccinated or not. And I've beaten a dead horse about the vaccines. I'm not going to really talk about that. But I will say this: Trace McSorley, Tyler Huntley, they're stepping up when it's needed. Let's see what else is going on. We had another guy. He actually made Tyree Phillips look pretty bad. Not bad, but Tyree Phillips is more of a guard. Where is that? I'm trying to find it because they said he really played really well. He was in Bleachers Report. Huh, okay. I can't find it. But there was an offensive lineman that we had got in a training camp deal. We actually let me do it this way. Let me look at the roster real quick. They said he actually did pretty well because we actually are kind of thin since we traded Zeus Jr. away. Sadly, where is he? Adrian Early. That's his name. Adrian Early, 6'6", Oklahoma. Like they're saying this boy is he's good. I mean, I haven't really been following. I've been being lackadaisical. But yes, according here, this is on Bleachers Report. The Baltimore Ravens appeared thin at the offensive line tackle spot for trading Allen Brown Jr. to the Kansas City Chiefs. To be picked up, Adrian Early, left tackle to Oklahoma, 6'6", 321, was a dominant rookie fifth round edge rusher, Dalen Hayes in practice. And offensive line coach Cole Jackson stated that he had been hearing positive regards regarding Early's work in camp. Although Early isn't likely to contest for a starting job in Baltimore, the 2-year collegiate starter could find himself holding a backup job in year one on either side of the line. He will likely have to beat out Tyree Phillips, a 2020 third-round pick, who will need to transition from guard to tackle to pros for the top swing gig. I like it. And a couple friends hit me up and said, "Yo, you gotta check this Adrian Early guy out. This kid from Oklahoma. Again, Orlando Brown Jr., former Sooner, Mark Andrews. I'm pretty sure they got positive things to say about him. But if this is true that he's playing like this, no disrespect to the offense line we got from Denver, we signed on basically a non-guaranteed deal. But you might actually be cut from the team, bro. Because let me not do that to Jawan James. Jawan James is a good little ball player. I don't see him coming back at all this year. But if he does, it'll probably be late. It will be late in the season. But I mean, Josh Oliver too, I think will make the team. I think he'll make the team because Nick Boyle is on the PUP list. Breland, Thomason, Eli Wolf. I don't see it. I don't see it. I mean, Eli Wolf. I saw some games at Georgia. Eric Thomason, he played for the Jets. He's a journeyman. I mean, we drafted Jake Breland's undrafted, out of Oregon. Great little tight. He's a great tight end, but Josh Oliver, I feel like he's the key. I feel like if he definitely plays well, he'll be all right. But so that's going to close it out. That's going to end episode 5. I talked y'all ear off for more than an hour and 40 minutes. Thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more topics like this, or you want to give me more ideas and thoughts to talk about, leave them in the comments below. Y'all let me know on the topics that I touched on this evening. This episode, along with episodes 3, 4, will be uploaded tomorrow. I will make sure that was uploaded on Anchor, and you'll see them via Spotify. But with that being said, I hope each and everyone have a good evening. I will see you in the next episode. Stay up, y'all. Peace.
First of all, listen, it's interesting about all these young guys today. They never call on us and say, hey, thanks for the kind word and telling me how great a player I am. But when they play like crap and we call them out, we don't know what we're talking about. Listen, I'm easy to find, but I get sick of these guys complaining. These young guys, they never call us and say, when a coach is wrong, I'm going to call him out. But when players are wrong, I'm going to call them out. But listen, I'm going to criticize guys if they deserve it. And listen, they can kiss my ass if they don't like it.